All right, recording line should be in just a sec. There we go.
Cool.
Now let me share my screen. And here we go. All right, so we've talked about this a little bit. And so I think this information is certainly not going to be anything new or surprising or anything like that, but wanted to kind of take a few minutes and just discuss what we call the crutch. I call it the crutch. And the whole point of this is just to, what we've been talking about is to, when you are looking through greenfield targets and you're mining for who to call, it's all about coming up with a reason to be calling. It's why someone needs to speak with you. And what's important is to understand the psychology behind the crutch. So when you have something to lean on, which is why we call it the crutch, when you have a reason and you're passionate about that reason for somebody to talk to you, that is going to come out in the inflection in your voice, in the sincere desire to want to talk to someone, and it gives you a reason, and it gives you something that is tangible. It's something that's unique. It's just having this clears you from the clutter, meaning that when this person is getting 10 calls a day from salespeople, we'll pick on what's her name, Carol?
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll pick on Carol. So Carol was just saying, hey, what was it again? Prospecting software, something like that.
Yeah, some sort of automation software for sales prospects.
Yeah. And her whole thing was, hey, this is what I sell. This is what my company sells. I can't remember if she was trying to get a demo. I can't remember what her call to action was. But her whole thing was, hey, here's what I do. I want to sell it to you. There was just nothing there. It was her message is the same that Carl gets from 10, 15, 20 other people a week or a month or however often he gets sales calls. So the whole point to the crutch is it gives you something different. And the biggest thing is the more that you believe that your service is going to provide a need, the person needs to speak with you. I can't impress upon how much that's going to come through in your voice, the inflection of your voice, the message that you leave. It's going to be different. So the whole point about the reason of why you are calling, I want you to use that as your crutch. And the crutch can be anything. It can be a referral. It can be the Ruben, your dad's girlfriend. Let's say she gives you a hold on, I need to take these out. I'm getting an echo. Okay, hopefully this is better. So let's say that your dad's girlfriend gives you a lead, and John Smith, right? And so you call John. Well, I can't remember what's your dad's girlfriend's name. Adrian. So you're going to call and you say, hey, Mr. Smith, Adrian strongly recommended I call you. She mentioned that you had a need to investigate different types of communication services, and I really need to speak with you. Okay. Something like that is just, again, it has more to do with how you say it. It has more to do with the sincere desire that you need to talk with that person and why, that you have something that they need. Just the passion in your voice is going to be enough to separate you from others. That combined with... We
did the whole, industry
exactly.
department and, job title type things to come up with that crutch.
Exactly. So the crutch, again, could be anything. It could be the fact that somebody is a director of training. It could be the fact that, let's go back to the example that we used with Brad Sellers, right? So we know that he just hired a bunch of people. We know that he's going to be having to train a couple of people. So we're calling him and we're saying, Brad, I need to talk to you. I've got something you really need, because I know that if I have an opportunity to show you this tool, I know that your reps are going to be selling and bringing in revenue twice as fast as they normally would. If you leave that message with that immediate call to action and that sincerity and the true belief that you have a need to talk with that person, Brad is calling you back. He's emailing you. He's saying, hey, look, I got a million things on my plate. You've got like 10 seconds to tell me what you got, because I got to get going on different things.
All right.
The whole point is you're going to get the audience. You're going to break through. You're going to clear the clutter with everybody else who's sending vanilla emails and leaving vanilla voicemails. And the whole point of the Crutch is give yourself something to lean on, a reason why the prospect needs to speak with you. See if I can.
How long are you out of the office for today, Ken?
I'll be back this morning, later this morning. There we go. Okay. I didn't do what I wanted it to do. Hang on. Where'd we go?
What's up? Yeah, a little bit. I don't know why it does that.
Okay, so here we go into a little bit of so here's our Crutch slide. Right, so it gives you something to lean on. So answers the question why you're calling. So to come up with the Crutch, again, think of the vertical, think of the industry that they're in and likely needs that they're going to have based on what they do, just what the company does. Think of the person's department that you're calling on. Think of some of the likely things that they're going to need or things that they're going to do based on their department. And ask yourself, what answer can you provide? What questions do you think that person likely has, and what answer can you provide to help them?
Okay.
What information can you provide that's going to help them and make their life easier? And most importantly, why?
It's still the breadcrumb approach, though, right?
It is, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. This whole thing is intended to be left in a voicemail message. It's intended to be scripted as part of your email message.
Okay.
So all this is, the thing that you have to think of here is that the person doesn't care that you sell video conferencing. The person doesn't want to buy video conferencing. Nobody gets up in the morning and says, hey, today's a great day to buy video conferencing. Today's a great day to buy collaboration. What you need to think of is what is likely going on with that person based on their company and what they do, based on their department and their responsibilities. And again, think of it in terms of, are they presenting information? Do they have a need to present information? Do they have a need to collaborate? Do they have a need to train? Think of those three pillars, because that gives you the ability, based on the vertical industry, based on the department, the person's title, based on what they do, that gives you the ability to come up with a very specific Crutch.
Okay.
So that's what I want you guys to practice. You can put it in your voicemail scripts. You can put it in your email scripts. And again, this is also why when we talk about coming up with target lists, that you're going to call on like vertical companies or industries. You're going to call on like departments, so that you're not spending time developing a Crutch for one person, and then you've got to move on and you've got somebody else that you need to call on, and now you need to come up and research another Crutch for that second person. You have people that are in
less
similar.
work for us in a way.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. If you have, 10 or 20 people that you develop through your call list that are all, same department, same industry, similar in nature, then that's going to give you the ability to either duplicate or just simply tweak your Crutch, and then you've got the ability to call on 20 people and leave the same message or, close to it.
Okay. So think of it in more verticals and departments and not so much as job titles, because I think with job titles you'll end up having to customize your Crutches a little bit more.
Well, the job title is supposed to give you a clue as to what the person's department is. Or when I think of department,
Okay, I see.
Yeah, and or job title, either of those are used to give me a little bit of insight into what that person's responsibilities likely are.
Okay, I got you.
So when we talk about once you have your Crutch, you get the person on the phone or replying over email, and you're saying, "Hey, let's get you on a demo." All right, so the goal has been achieved.
Go.
There you go. Okay, so the next couple of these things just go into what we do with the training or the 5-letter word. So we'll cover that later. What I want to do is focus on the crutch, but continue to focus on building the call lists. I want you guys to have, probably 50 targets to begin with, and continue to use the resources, Zoom Info and others that you guys have been researching.
Did you ever get that to work for you?
You know what? I tried to check this morning, but I wanted to see if they left, because you said they called you, right? Well,
Yeah, they emailed me and left me a phone number.
I left the work phone number here, the one at my desk.
Oh, okay.
I gave them that phone number, but that was like right as we were leaving yesterday, so I meant to check to see if they emailed me.
Okay, cool.
Or if I have a voicemail from them.
We'll figure it out, and then I'll probably just, do a bunch of free trials for a bunch of other